Welcome back to another episode of the Club Lorcana podcast. I am Syed, and today I have with me my best friend, Jeremy
Hi.
Bertaroni.
Hey, everybody. It's me, Jeremy Bertarioni. It's great to be here. And we got some exciting new guests, actually. We are joined for the first time by Kevin, a.k.a. Danzor. Kevin, say hi.
Hello.
Kevin,
Glad to be here.
Kevin, super excited to have him here. He, of course, top Ford Dallas DLC. Kevin, what are some other notable accomplishments that you have? What do you want to tell the guests about you?
So at Continentals, I made 25th. I was one win away from making day 2. I felt very good there, and I've top 32'd Milwaukee. I ended up running into Diego on dogs there, and it was one of my worst matchups, and he had seed, so things went as expected there.
Tough times.
And, of course, we are also joined by Ryan Walker.
Hello, we're back from the trip.
One of the longtime friends of contest. He accompanied you to DLC Ghent, which was in Belgium.
Yep.
Great.
It was an absolutely fantastic trip.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit on the last trip. Since then, you have gotten back. Finally, welcome home, dude. I gave you a big hug when I saw you. Just kidding. We don't touch each other. But welcome back from DLC Taipei in Taiwan.
Yep. That was another great run. Honestly, I crushed all my goals on this one trip.
Nice. Talk to me about it. What were your goals?
I mean, my goals was to make it to more continental,
Mhm.
which gives me a higher chance of making it back to Worlds, which is my ultimate goal. But then I just won Ghent, and then I was like, why am I going to Taipei again? I was like, oh yeah, I'm not qualified for the Asia Continentals. And then I got that qualification too. So I felt very validated for all my testing and hard work.
Congratulations on all that stuff, man. I think that you've put in a lot of work, so it's good to see you do well. Can't wait to go to Worlds with you again.
That was fantastic.
We had a lot of fun last time. I think we did a great job testing.
You guys need to book off your calendars. Like,
If we knew the dates, we could. But
I know, but this time,
I will cook for you.
yes.
Actually, I can't because I'm going to be playing. But if I somehow don't manage to be,
Then
playing,
we'll get
I'll-
if you make it, we're hiring a chef.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Now we're talking.
Talk to me about some things that you did in Worlds last time that you want to run back and some things that you would change.
I mean, the testing process will be a little bit more in depth just because I was part of World Class Cards and I was supposed to test with them. And then all of a sudden that wasn't the case anymore. And I was kind of left on my own to figure out what I need to do, right? And so this time I will have RHS, Rare Hunter Shop.
And we already know Jacob is qualified as well.
Yeah, Jacob is also Jacob Frank is qualified. He won Singapore. And so yeah, we'll have much more of a team testing dynamic. And last time it was, a lot of friends and a lot of help from the community that helped me prepare for the event. And I think Kevin was last time part of team.
I was on Team Luxury at the time.
Yeah, which was helping Diego.
And yeah, just Diego. Yeah,
What about Hamza?
all right, yeah. Hamza was kind of on his own there. He there was a time when there was a CCS that we were preparing for, and Diego and Ferrante flew down, and we busted multiple boxes of packs building sealed pools and things because Diego hadn't had much experience in sealed from his previous card game experiences.
Oh, cool.
We're also assuming it's going to be the same format. There's a possibility that the format could change.
Yeah, my assumption is it should change. I felt like it didn't connect with the audience, right? Like we had set championships right after Worlds, and basically the public just ignored it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was watching it from a perspective of I've done 1,000 sealed pools, and he got that card. That card's broken in this pool, and then everybody else is like, he got that card.
Yeah, I would say that Lucas Kappa, who's now one of my teammates, had one of the best sealed pools I've ever seen in any game of all time. Maybe.
One thing I'd like is that for Worlds to be on the side of DLC for the next season or something, so that there's actually people there and there's a huge crowd and people are really excited about Worlds, because having it just be this small exclusive event kind of
I actually have never heard it put that way, but yeah,
reduces the hype.
Maybe Worlds if it can't be a last chance qualifier, that doesn't seem possible.
Mhm.
Maybe it is just DLC 1 for season 3.
Then I just want to be able to play in that.
Nope,
Well,
can't play.
I feel like if you do that, you have to world participants have to have some sort of shoe in for the next season. Maybe they get automatically qualify for continentals in their home region or something as well, just so that they don't feel like they've been fully eliminated from a DLC for the season.
Yeah, I agree that this should be like a DLC style of event. I think that would be amazing. I also agree with Gavin. It would be nice to get some type of reward for for making it to Worlds, because to be honest, when I lost at Worlds, even though I had like one of the best seasons of all time at that point, because it's season 1, I was like, everybody's seen the meme of me going like, right? That all came from like I have to start over. I earned nothing basically.
Yep.
And so that part was really rough. And
It's my screensaver, actually.
The one question that I have is, if you feel like, I mean, I thought that you were happy with your deck list that you ended up with at Worlds.
oh, I love my deck list, and I think that I finished 1 match short of making top cut.
And did you feel like your limited testing was also adequate?
It was great. Basically, the way I felt like was like, if I get the right matchups, then I will be super favored, right? And so basically, round 1, I played against the only person I didn't want to play against in limited, which was Frank, because I knew that Frank Karsten would build his deck better than everybody else, maybe excluding myself. And so if we put both of it against each other, all it came down to was the seal pools, who got the better sealed pool. And I mean, if we saw what happened, we can pretty adamantly say that his seal pool was better than mine. And I started off 0-1, and then I won the next 2, which I felt like I was gonna win as long as my seal pool wasn't, because I really felt like I made every perfect decision in terms of the seal pool, just because I have a Magic background, and Frank Carson has a Magic background, so it gives us a leg up over the rest of the competitors, especially because we both performed well in limited events before, and so that plus doing more sealed pools than every other person, it just made it easy. Yeah.
I guess my question would be, if you're happy with your result, or you're happy with where you ended up, and it just wasn't your day, which is totally fine, totally reasonable. Every player in that room is totally cracked, so it's not going to be all of their days. If you're happy with where you ended up and it wasn't your day, why would you change anything going into the next Worlds?
Because with every event, people are like basically evolving their testing process. So you can assume that people who make it this season are making it more so off the merit of better testing and more dominance of best of 3. Because best of 3 is much more replicable situation, right? Like you can slice through variants much better. So some of the players who made it last year, I mean, let's be honest, how many of them are going to make it back?
I mean, you're already back.
I mean, but these all the players that are already back are all players I expected to have great battles against at Worlds, right?
Ed's already back.
Exactly. So Ed and Frank are 2 players that I expected that once I made it to top cut would be the ultimate battle, right? Whereas I did not want to face them in the limited portion, because there's a luck element of how good your sealed pool is. And then when it comes to the constructed part, it felt like there was it felt like we were playing best of 1, which I can equate to being the most luck based version of Lorcana. So what I'm hoping is that we go back to what Lorcana is, what everybody plays, a best of 3, more dependent on one deck, just more formats, right? We have access to infinity now, and the limited format has become more refined because the build, like the making of the game, more so thinks about limited, and that makes the game which is going to make the game more skill intensive, rather than us playing a format that doesn't exist, that we can't even practice on our own. So we have to make a bunch of assumptions about what other players are going to do, which I felt like I was spot on, right? Like who were my lists slash what do you call it, the colors I chose to play the most similar to was DKP. DKP and I had played the same colors and similar lists, and so you could say if I would be the best candidate to switch spots with him, and that was a win for him, right? And you could also argue that uh, his his decks were the main carrying point of his tournament.
Mm-hmm. All right. So moving forward in this podcast, we can talk about a couple things. I want to know which one you want to do first. We can talk about the metagame right now for Core Constructed, or we can talk about you do a full rundown of what you want to say about DLC Taipei.
Metagame.
All right. Let's go into the metagame. Kevin, start us off. You're our guest. What are the pillars of the format right now?
I think the pillars of the format have pretty much remained the same. We have Purple Steel that's been waning a little bit recently. I think it's going to be dropping down in popularity just due to tournament performance. And then we still have Blurple and Dogs at the very top. Those two remain strong. Blurple's been making some modifications this past week to try to adjust for Dogs in general and be a little bit better into that deck. And then we've seen a rise of Green Blue a little bit due to Ed's success, but
your favorite deck to play on our testing.
Yeah, in general, I think the Green Blue is not picking up as much steam as it has in previous seasons, and I think it's still going to kind of be a fringe choice in tournaments at this point.
Why is that? If that was one of the decks that was the most popular last season and it won a DLC to cap off the season, why did it lose so much steam? What do you think has changed about the deck?
I think other decks just gained a lot more this set than it has, and it's taken a while for it to find its place. And even at this point, unless you're playing the deck at a peak performance level and having a little bit of luck on your side, I don't think it is a good choice for a lot of players. And a lot of people don't have the reps and the experience on the deck to dive into it and actually defeat the decks that Ed was defeating with it.
A lot of people are putting this metagame on pause. Dogs is the best deck, they all say. Kevin, is this a Dogs tier 0 format?
I think Dogs is definitely the strongest deck in the format right now. And you either need to have a deck that performs very well into Dogs and good against the rest of the meta, or you should just be playing Dogs. And it's hard to argue for a lot of other decks right now because the decks that are very good into Dogs usually get clobbered by the rest of the meta, and that causes them to get weeded out of the tournaments early and not be seen at the point where Dogs is just overrunning the top cut.
Ryan.
Yeah, exactly that. It's very hard to get deck that performs against Dogs into the spot that you need it to be in, right? We've seen like one red purple pop up in each of the top cuts, and it's just not enough to get it done because you end up getting eliminated by Blurp. That just runs over you. What was the increase in meta share for Dogs from Ghent to Taiwan?
It ended up at 18%.
That's what I thought, 18.
So which was the same as Saturday, or 3% above, 3.5% above Friday.
Yeah, Friday was. Yeah.
So it was right around what I said. It was probably going to be 15%, and it was right around what I thought it was going to be. It's a smaller room,
Sure.
So there was a huge, like, let's say I influenced some of the players that were coming into this tournament from Ghent. Those were the people who changed the number from 15 to 18. But if it ended up actually being like a 500% event, probably would have ended up at 15%. But it ended up being 365 players. It was definitely one of the more easier tournaments I played in, and I felt like Ed's, like, I'm super happy that Ed won. This is what I was thinking when I was watching him play the finals. I was like, Ed winning would be the best thing for Lorcana. The top players from season 1 performing well enough to get back to Worlds is an incredible feat, and like having rivals like Ed and DKP. Hopefully DKP makes it back to Worlds. And Frank Karsten, like,
he's already there.
Yeah. Who's already there?
Frank Karsten.
Frank won on.
Yeah. I'm saying like having these rivals. I was making like the assumption that DKP was already there, and I was basically saying like Frank, like having us all 4 potentially going back to Worlds is good for the game because we are like like that consistency factor makes it super easy to create storylines around us. Who's the top dog, right?
Yep.
And So I was really excited for Ed to win. He's not only a good friend but a great rival and all that stuff. We get to go to Disney World again. Um, but in terms of the tournament, if you break it down quite simply, Ed had 2 losses, right, going into Top Cut. I felt like his deck wasn't really well positioned. In Top Cut, you got to get a little bit lucky, and he got good matchups. His worst matchup was, um, what do you call it? Against Tiago, who was now playing dogs and was playing 4 Mowglis and 4 Ursula and 2 Mowglis, and that would have been absolutely brutal. So I'm assuming that Tiago was on the play and he somehow lost. So I feel like that was an anomaly in itself. But I also had 2 losses in that tournament and what had a better record going into Top Cut, and I felt like I had my opponent hit the lottery in order to beat me in the games. But basically the point I'm trying to make is like he was drawing out of his mind, right? And but was the deck choice actually good for that Top Cut? I felt like it was not a great choice. The reason why I felt like it was not a good choice was because we were expecting dogs to go up, and the deck actually hadn't demonstrated that just by adding Under the Sea that it was fixing the matchup. It was actually putting it into a much more vulnerable position because it was really difficult to get Under the Sea before it mattered. So it was really a really interesting situation. The other aspect of it was I felt like Purple Steel had a good matchup against it. The main thing that happened with Purple Steel was it was essentially the same number, except for Purple Steel and Amber Steel basically cut each other off. And so Purple Steel ended up being the third most played deck at 13.8% or something like that. And then Amber Steel went up to like 11%.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, that's essentially the same deck, except for it's at 24%. I think that ends up playing in favor of Ed even making Top Cut in the first place, right? If I'm positive that if that 24% stays at Purple Steel, then that version of Purple Steel stays a really bad matchup for him and probably gives him the third loss in Swiss, and he never makes Top Cut in the first place. And so, but that part wasn't predictable, right? It could have just as easily been another 20%, 5% situation, right? People were like, I'm going to stick to Purple Steel and not switch to Amber Steel. That part wasn't predictable because we hadn't had a tournament. And we didn't know which group was going to get the break off. Was Dogs going to get the break off for Amber Steel or something else? You know what I mean? And it ended up being Purple Steel, which ended up playing in favor. So yeah, so I just felt like it was a gamble choice that ended up playing in Ed's favor for sure.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it makes the most logical sense that that particular Amber Steel would have come out of the Purple Steels, especially given Purple Steel's performance in Ghent.
Yeah, it's just no one was really making that prediction at the time.
Hard to get that percentage right as well. Moving on. The next thing we have to look forward to with this metagame, most of the listeners probably looking at set champs coming down the road. We've got DLC Brazil coming down, maybe some CCQs. What is the meta going to shape into? Is Amber Steel a real player in the meta?
I think a lot of people will play Amber Steel because its matchup against Dogs is supposed to be solid. I didn't end up playing against it in the tournament. I didn't play against it at all in the tournament, which is like completely possible. And some of the good Dogs players that were playing in the tournament ended up knocking out a lot of the Amber Steels that I saw, which was very surprising because they were so geared towards beating it. Like a lot of the Amber Steel players started putting Plutos in their deck to try to deal with the Chromacon issue. So I felt like Amber Steel kind of underperformed in that tournament. I know one ended up making top 8, but again, it's like 365 players, not a huge field, not great represent. Like I just felt like the surprising part was how many, like I wasn't surprised at all that like so many Dogs players made it, but basically everybody was like saying, oh, dogs not making top 8 or whatever was a big deal. Like basically, what you needed to look at was a lot of the dogs players got paired against each other. So like,
There were a lot of married then.
so it was like Tiago versus Alphos, and that was like a major like taking out another dogs player. And then there were just some like lottery ticket moments where if you ran this tournament like 10 times, I think that dogs ends up winning majority of the time.
Yeah. One thing about the Amber Steel deck, as a dogs player into it a lot, I feel like unless the Amber Steel player is very, very good, a good dogs player can skill diff the Amber Steel player out of the game a lot. I've seen a lot of players make questionable decisions against me with the Amber Steel deck, and a lot of times they'll run out of steam, and if they can't find their docs, then they just eventually get outvalued by the dogs player. So it ends up being a longer game, and it feels better because they have explosive starts compared to like a person playing purple steel into dogs. So they feel like they're in the game a lot more, but I don't think it really is as favored as it seems at this point.
What do you think, Zan? Can you skill diff Amber Steel with dogs?
For sure.
Is it the zombie dog strategy?
I mean, you can do it a bunch of different ways. I think that Chromacon is your go-to strat. And then, if you feel like they are playing the hate, like maybe Benja or something, or like you've seen it in game 1, then you just maybe hold the second one, and just be a little bit mindful of it. The week leading up to Taipei, I went to Vienna, and I was testing with my team, Rare Hunter team, and basically I was spending majority of the time testing Amber Steel, right? Because it's the most undiscovered deck. Even though I was playing versions of it, I felt like I should spend the most amount of time. And in my time and / discovery process, I felt like a lot of the games kind of played themselves, right? After when you got to a certain point, like of playing the deck, I felt like I was playing the deck completely on autopilot. It was a really easy deck to play, but I felt like the mulligan portion was such a gamble because sometimes the deck like looked amazing and sometimes the deck looked like it did nothing, and you still had to mulligan exactly the same, except for you just didn't know what was going to come off the top. Sometimes you got too many Akuts, sometimes you got too many troubadours, sometimes you like none of the pieces made any sense, and you're like sitting there, it doesn't even look like you're playing Lorcana. And I was like, I am not willing to play a tournament with that deck.
There's a big difference between your like smooth Akut games and your just like dumpster fire Akut games where they never come off correctly.
You exert 3 ink and play a Akut and draw a card and then like
pass.
pass or,
No,
like play a 2-drop that you drew and you're like, go.
It's actually your third dock that you
Right.
play off of it. You
That was
like,
nice.
play this dock. Am I considering discarding the rest of my hand because I hate it so much?
Yeah, I hate it so much.
I had a game I was testing with the deck, and I was against green blue, and I had Mowgli'd them and saw that they're going to Clarabelle me the next turn. I played dock and discarded 5 cards,
Oh my goodness.
and I won that game.
Kevin's
wow.
that's actually sick.
Yep,
That's actually a sick play.
that's a great play.
Oh, you're gonna Clarabelle me next turn? Let's get rid of all this.
Let's get rid of all the stuff.
I didn't even want any of this stuff. And they're like, "Oh no, I'm gonna lose." Also, all the cards they discarded were horrible. So that was weird.
His hand actually became better after that.
Yeah, his hand got way better.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
I did want to say I did. So the 2 decks I tested before I played in Taipei were red yellow, Lucas Capo's deck, and Amber Steel. So I tested both of those decks, and my conclusion at the end of my testing, everybody looked at me and was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "My matchup against green blue is not good. I don't want to play this deck." And they're like, "Why? It's not gonna even be a factor because if you look at, it was like 5% of both days and Gen."
You were like, "I gotta beat Ed."
No, the thought process was we're going into Taipei, and in this region, people like respect and follow DKP and Ed more than they do me or any other player.
Mm-hmm.
And so Hence why Green Blue had 10% of the meta share in in Taiwan.
Yep. Makes
And
a lot of
so I told them that I was like, I can't play these decks because I think that Green Blue is going to have an uptick and is going to be an issue. And yeah, unfortunately for some of my teammates, it ended up being an issue, and they ended up playing against Green Blue with these decks, and they ended up losing to them, and it wasn't really a factor for Ghent. So there needed to be adjustments made between both tournaments, even though they were a week apart. That's how quickly everybody was adjusting. So I made some changes to my deck as well, but those were changes that were supposed to be in my deck from the get-go. Mainly the 6 cost shift tramp for 4 was just absolutely incredible. When I played against a purple steel player who was playing all the fire the cannons and Benjas, and I was like, here's a big dog. And they were like, I can't beat that. I was like, I know. That was the whole plan.
He's like additional chromacons almost sometimes when you put him out there.
He's nice with chromacon because you're like, my guy dies and then I bounce your guy and I'll still draw a card.
So it's like you both draw a card. Both of you get +1 card in your hand.
+1 cards.
Not sure that he likes that one. Zan, recently, Louis Theroux did a documentary where he trashed members of the Manosphere. Are you worried he's going to do a documentary where he trashes our podcast?
Next question.
Okay. Do you consider yourself a part of the Manosphere?
Next question.
Dang. I think that you are.
Next question.
Okay.
All right, non-lorcana question. During this 2-week travel stint, what was like your favorite thing you did that was non-lorcana related, or maybe something you ate?
There's a lot of sleeping.
Yeah,
I slept a lot. Because I feel like the whole story of Ghent was I'm not sure what I'm playing.
True.
Ryan's about to go to sleep. I'm gonna stay up.
You did, and I got really fussy one time. You know how I get fussy about sleep?
You do? Well, sometimes you can cure it by drinking coffee.
Yeah.
We couldn't find the good coffee place.
We were also rooming with 2 of the Rare Hunters guys, so I had to set them straight. Have you Jenin? He's a big wrestler guy.
Yeah, I know
from
Jenin.
Austria. I had to set him straight.
You wrestled him?
Yeah, I had to wrestle him.
Did you win?
No, he's young and strong.
Yeah, but you're like a brick. You're like a piece of iron.
Here's what I did. The
Have
day
you met
before,
Jenin?
or that night, I looked at him. As we're walking down the street of Ghent, I looked at him and I told him straight to his face, I'm going to wrestle you at some point tonight.
Yeah.
I recognize that you're younger and stronger than me, so I'm giving you a heads up that I'm going to jump you, right? I'm not going to fight you straight up. I'm going to attack you from the back, and you're not going to know when it's coming, but I'm going to tell you now to kind of be fair.
Yeah.
And I did that.
Nice.
Still lost.
Dang it.
Have you, Jenna has cauliflower ear. You know how you get cauliflower ear?
People don't crack it when you're doing training for jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
The mat, basically. Yeah,
Yes.
you rub your ear against the mat 1,000 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
And your blood vessel in your ear pops.
Yeah, but you can like when it's liquid, you can pop it out and it won't develop cauliflower ear.
No, I'm pretty sure you can't
Yeah,
stop
but then you don't look as cool, and then you can't say you have cauliflower ear.
You can stop it.
I don't think you can stop it.
I think people don't stop it because they want to have cauliflower ear.
No, I think that you can't stop it.
You can definitely stop it.
No.
Anyway, it's a wrestling match between me and Jenin. Who gets it?
We actually talked about that. I don't know how that came up, but because
It's
me and you
not
wrestle,
close.
he would throw you out of the room.
Yeah.
Maybe if you were like, you're not allowed to use 2 feet and 1 arm and then only 2 fingers. Maybe. Even then, he could probably take you out just with his mind.
But we should try it sometime. Be fun.
I'm scrappy.
Yeah, for science.
I'm not saying that you're not scrappy. He's just that cracked.
I lasted longer than Ryan thought I would against Ryan.
The question wasn't
I picked you up and carried you out of the room like a baby.
the
Yeah,
question.
but I lasted longer than you thought I would
But-
before that.
But the question was not how long would you last.
It's because I win. I definitely probably couldn't win. He'd throw me out of the room.
Yeah.
Dang, he's really strong. What was your favorite thing you ate in Taiwan?
They are known for hot beef noodle soup.
Which is great because a lot of those other countries are really like it's a lot of pork.
Oh well, there was a ton of pork, and
There's a lot of
I had
pork
to
in
dodge,
that
yeah.
region, but there's also a lot of beef in Taiwan. So
Yep, it was really great. I felt like one of the restaurant that we went to was like really really nice. Um, but they brought over a sign, and it was like English and Chinese, and it was like, you have to eat your soup and your noodles separate.
Don't you dare combine them.
Yeah.
Why?
It was just their rule. They were just like, that's the rule. They were like, right as I was about to take my first bite, they're like, read this. I was like, eat your soup and your noodles separate. I was like, okay, I'll do it. Don't worry. And it was like an old lady. She was like, don't you do it.
So used to people just dumping the noodles in the broth.
I was thinking that's what I was gonna do,
Yeah,
and
I
I
would've
didn't.
done that.
I didn't do it.
I would have read the sign and been like, sorry, I can't read.
They would literally probably pick you up and take you out. There's a long line.
Everyone's picking me up in this podcast.
Um,
Ryan.
honestly, the 7-Elevens were cracked. So basically, what I was saying about Ghent was I spent a lot of time staying up in order to figure out what I needed to do, and the theme of Taipei was I need to sleep. Basically, everybody kept looking at me with like, they were like, we finished Friday, right? Like we went and got our badges, and afterwards, like everybody was like, let's go get dinner. And I was like, I'm going to sleep. And then Saturday, same thing. I finished 6-1, and then they were like, oh, we're going for dinner. I was like, no, I'm going to sleep. That was the whole thing. I was like, I just need to sleep. I just need to sleep. So Saturday, in Vienna throughout the week, I was testing really hard, and basically, I like whenever I had an interview or something like that, it would be at like 3 a.m. because it was American time, right? So I would just get up and do the interview and then go back to sleep. But I was spending every moment, every bit of energy I had, just trying to maximize the win that I got and make it the strongest possibility that I could win again. Be the first to go back to back. That would be really awesome.
That would be really awesome.
And so I really wanted to try to make that into a possibility. So I was testing out, like, I think you always have to put your deck down and say, hey, is this actually the right choice for the following week? And I really wanted to do my due diligence, and I felt like the list that I came up with was the perfect list for the tournament. Just the wins and losses didn't line up exactly the way I wanted to. And I feel like if they had, I think I could have easily won this tournament as well. And it felt much easier just because we had less rounds. So the way it went was day 1, we had 7 rounds instead of 9, which we had again.
Mm-hmm.
And then in day 2, if you made day 2, which you needed to have an X and 2 record. So that would be 4 and 2 record. No, 7 rounds. 5 and 2 record.
Sure.
Then you would make day 2, and then day 2 would consist of 2 more rounds of Swiss. So me being 6-1, I needed to win 1, and then I could draw into top cut and still be at a higher seed. So I finished 7, 1, and 1 in Swiss, and that technically is not even done with day 1 when we're usually playing.
In the other tournament, it was 8 rounds, I think. So 6-2 made it in. Yeah. So you were 1 round over.
Essentially, I finished and then I drew, right? So basically, what I'm saying is like I just needed to win day 1 essentially of Ghent in order to make top cut, and so yeah. So essentially, then we were put into top cut, and even then at 7-1 and 1, I was 10th seed, and my tiebreakers were one of the worst of 7-1-1. So if I had better breakers, it still put you even higher. So this is like unlike any DLC anybody's ever played because it's 365 players. It's that many less rounds, right? It's 3 less rounds than Ghent, and then that also, and then and top cut, it's kind of the same thing, and it's not best of 5 in the once you make it, and there's no grand finals either, so it was like a mini DLC, and I was like, wow, this is actually perfect. This gives me the highest chance of needing to run like a little hot, not like super hot, in order to win the second one.
It's crazy. I actually forgot to drop from the event until like 10 minutes before because I was asking you how many players were in it. It was 367.
Yep.
And then I dropped, and it was 360.
How many people were at the Melbourne DLC? I feel like that was about the same as this one.
410, if I remember correctly.
This is the smallest one so far.
I think this is the smallest one so far.
Interesting.
And it being best of 3 mattered. I think if I recall correctly, the Melbourne one still ended up being normal round. 8 rounds and 4 rounds.
360. Ed won a Charlie's.
Yes.
Yeah. Essentially, that is, yeah. I mean, even 400 is the biggest Charlie's we've had was 400. So
Ed won a medium-sized Charlie's.
This was smaller than CCQs that we've played. Yes.
yes.
Interesting. How did you feel about competition-wise stacking up? Was it about like a Charlie's? I mean,
No, it was competition level was high.
okay, so never mind. You didn't.
Competition
you
level
weren't
was
DLC.
high, but I mean, I've seen majority of these players at Charlie. I've seen NDKP at Charlie.
True.
I feel like overall Charlie's has a higher density of good players than a DLC because even at I guess here you're pared down on number of people, but like a 2,000 person DLC, you have a lot of more casual players in there. So like a Charlie's is harder than a 2,000 person DLC for day one.
Or even the first like 4 rounds.
Right.
I usually feel like in my mind, I should be like 4-0 after 4 rounds of a DLC, assuming I didn't run up against a heater on accident.
It felt like I was playing a Charlie's.
Okay.
Maybe even easier.
Whoa.
I mean, like if I think about my run to win with Monstro, that was super hard.
Mm-hmm.
That was really, really hard. But
Lamb, you had to beat Williams, maybe other Jonathans.
yeah, Jonathan Lamb was at this tournament as well, but Williams wasn't. Right, a lot.
Charlie's.
Yeah,
ironically.
and Diego wasn't at this tournament. Like there were a lot of great players that couldn't do back to back. It was too much.
It was too much.
Honestly, I was considering not going after I won, but I mean, I just wanted to have a shot at back to back, and I didn't have an Asia Continentals. It was a really interesting tournament. I have not played in one like this at all, like ever, and I just do feel like we need to, like, I did feel like this was the first Asia tournament I attended that was more similar to all the other DLCs. I did not feel that Singapore, Hong Kong did DLCs justice. Like I did not feel like those tournaments were representative of what a DLC is, because Best of One I do not think is. So I did feel like this was the first Asia tournament that was representative of a true DLC. Definitely closer, but then the numbers were still too little, right? And so it just felt like we played in a WCQ essentially.
How do we feel about the distribution of the Worlds invite? So 366 person tournament to get a Worlds invite, but 4,000 player to get a Worlds invite, right?
Yes.
The second place player at the Ghent tournament
Yes.
won more games than it took to get the invite at
100%.
You know what I mean?
You're making a great point. I definitely wanted to talk about this after the last, right after the tournament. My opponent from the grand finals, I definitely do believe that they earned themselves a Worlds invite, or at least a trophy, which I think was advertised, for winning Saturday and winning Friday. So, yeah, I did want to say that they played in a tournament. Whether I won or lost, that was my opinion going into the situation, and it's still my opinion after the situation. And do I think that it would be good for me for this player to be in Worlds? No, it would actually be bad for me, because I do think that they would be one of the tougher players for me at Worlds. So I'm just advocating this because I would be, because I truly believe that they played enough and fought hard enough to have earned themselves a Worlds invite.
I know that this deal, or Ghent and Dortmund, both weren't planned to be 4,000 people, and that was a change that was made mid-season due to demand. But if they were able to add a full other DLC worth of players in there, I don't see why they can't add 2 extra people at Worlds. We already are at a multiple of 2 number of invites for Worlds. I don't see a large difference in adding in 2 more invites for the Ghent player and the Dortmund player that essentially win a DLC but lose in the grand finals.
It'd be awkward if you're at like 31 to add 2 more to put it to 32, because then a lot of your brackets aren't going to work out. Whereas it like having like 33 players would be lame. 32 players would be a good sweet spot. How many players are supposed to play in Worlds?
I don't remember the exact.
Yeah,
numbers.
I don't either. I mean, it's like fine.
I don't know what the exact number, but I thought it was.
It's impossible.
I thought we were past. Basically, what people have been saying to me is like, oh, there's gonna be too many to be a draft pod. But what I remember is 38. I don't know where I got that number from.
38's a weird number.
Yeah, I think it was some number that is in the 30s above 32.
Adding 2 to some number in the 30s above 32 is fine until we get to 64, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that. I mean, then yeah. I mean, I think that they should add more slots for places where it's definitely earned. This is one of those spots, but I don't think that they should keep adding it.
Yeah, overall, I just think it's something to think about as
Yeah.
they go through, season 3 planning or whatever it is. Maybe they decide to change something here, but something in the planning process. It needs to be pretty equitable, I think, throughout the tournaments, depending on size of tournament and how many invites go out.
It is kind of weird. He won a 2048 size tournament, and then Ed won a 390 or 360 size tournament.
Yeah, but that also goes for Melbourne,
All the other tournaments.
Hong Kong, Singapore.
Sure, but in this case, I'm just pointing it out because the 2 that are right next to each other.
Yeah.
You get to see it. You can just look at it.
No, I agree. I do think that my opponent from the grand finals definitely deserved an invite. Was a really great player, and
So here's another question then. Do you think that there really needs to be a grand finals if we go to both people getting a Worlds invite and a trophy, or do you just celebrate 2 DLC winners from the 4,000 person event? The day 2 is so long already.
I think that you can celebrate and then still have a grand finals. I think grand finals creates the most amount of entertainment.
Yeah, the Dragon Ball Z watcher in me wants to see the grand finals.
Yeah.
Only one trophy. Only one trophy for me.
Oh, if they got both Worlds invites, then 1 trophy is fine. But if you don't give a Worlds invite, then you better give 2 trophies.
I think they both get a Worlds invite, and there's one bigger trophy.
Double the size.
Double the size of the trophy.
Oh,
It was hard to take that trophy around to celebrate being so small. Our beers were larger than the trophy.
for sure.
Maybe they could actually give you the Iconics as well if you actually win the grand finals instead of being like, nope, the Iconics, you don't get those in your foil set.
Yeah, I mean, I did win the largest tournament of Lorcana of all time. I did that once before. That was back when CCS was the largest tournament.
You keep winning the largest tournament
How
of
long
all time.
you think we'll be like playing board games one night? And you'll be like, "Well, I won the largest tournament of all time, so I, get to go first."
No, because actually, what he would say is, so I don't see why you guys are all ganging up on him in a game where he's clearly winning.
That happens all the time. It's
Sure,
true.
you're clearly winning, so it's a multiplayer game, so we're gonna roll the dice against you, brother. That's why you're bad at Wingspan.
What?
I'm just kidding.
How do you even gang up on someone in Wingspan?
We do it. We do it.
They find a way.
Yeah, we gang up on Zan and Wingspan pretty hard. We eat the
Any rule
Cereal.
suggestion is
You
denied.
take whatever food
whatever
you
materials it looks like he needs. Like, no, he didn't get any worms.
he needs a fish, so he can't have it.
And he makes me not play with the starter birds, which I think is him hobbling me.
No,
off.
that's part of the official competitive rules.
I think I should be able to play with starter birds.
No, starter birds are too OP.
I agree.
Yeah.
Give me Black Lotus and Ancestral Recall and Wingspan. Who cares?
Nope.
Who even cares about that?
All right. What's next on the agenda?
I mean, we're in the part where we riff. We're just talking. We talked about the DLC. We talked about your sort of play-by-play of Thailand. I did want to point out there are 3 players. Taiwan.
Yeah.
I did want to point out there are 3 players that are qualified for Asian, European, and North American Continentals. It's you, I think DKP, and Alphos.
But I'm qualified for 4
Are you qualified for 4?
Yeah.
What's your 4th one?
Worlds.
That's not what I'm saying. I said all continentals, and Worlds is not a continental, so you're wrong.
It's just the whole world.
It's the continent of
we don't have
world.
Pangea anymore.
right. Yeah, we don't have Pangea.
Pangea.
You sound like such a we're all one people.
that was the hardest one to get.
You actually got it at the same time that you got the European continentals.
No, he
No.
got European continentals earlier in the day.
Oh,
Yeah,
in the
yes,
day.
I
A few
did.
hours ago. Yeah.
A few hours ago.
Maybe
Same
6
day.
hours.
Actually, a few hours. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 6 hours before.
Quite a few hours. You know,
Because okay, so I top 32. Then we went 32, 16, 8, 4, finals. So at least 6 hours later.
I guess I'm just shouting. We're shouting out Alphos, I guess, right now. He's in you guys' little club.
Yes. He did play dogs.
Yep.
I just refused to do the little doggy thing.
Pause up.
Yeah,
I
did.
took that tweet as like you were leading the dog pause thing.
Oh, I was.
Yeah, I think that's everybody on Twitter thinks you led it.
You're like the first pause up guy.
That's hilarious.
Can somebody put Zan's face on a pause up thing and send it to us?
Pause up, and it's Zan Syed, and you love that.
In
You
a
like
in
pause
a
up.
in a Stitch costume.
Oh no, use his face in worlds.
Pause up.
Pause up.
You're not a big pause up guy.
I mean, we were all sitting next to each other. Okay, so what they did was they put us all when top 32 when they all sat us down,
Yeah.
and then gave us a paper that said like your number, like oh, that just reminded me like Squid Game.
Yeah.
They're like, and I was like number 10, and then Alphos was to my left, no, to my right, and then Justice was to my left, and Tiago was to my right, and then we all. They all were like, take a picture of me doing the pause up, and then they got to me, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this.
So for those of you that don't know, the dogs players are doing a new thing where they go pause up and they do this to each other, and sometimes they double high five with the pause up.
Yeah.
That's like the thing that dogs players are trying to do to have fun. Obviously, there's nothing like that could have made me hate them more. Kevin, let people know about you, your personality. What do you think? Pause up or no?
I'm not a very extroverted person, so I'd go with that's kind of silly. But you know what? If the dogs players want to build a club like Blue Steel has a club, let them do it.
Let them do it. Pause up. He's pro pause up. Ryan, pause up.
Sounds like a cult, not a club. But
Ryan,
I'll
pause
leave
up?
the club so fast.
I like Alphos, I like Justice. So pause up, everybody. Yeah.
Woo, pause up. We like those guys. Hey, I'm the same boat as Ryan, dude. I'll pause up with Alphos and Justice. I kind of don't want to be walking around pause up all day.
No.
And I don't even really want to play dogs. I would play dogs for a set championship. Let's all go around real fast. What would you play on set championships? Dogs.
Yellow purple.
Dogs.
Doggies.
All right. Why yellow purple?
That's the first thing that came to my mind. It sounded fun.
All right. Sounds fun.
I might play Amber Steel just for
Yeah,
like.
I would do
you
an
know.
Amber Steel one for sure.
I'm a little worried because we live here in Georgia. We might go to set championships and have to play against Nathaniel Shaney, notorious cheater.
Oh yeah, all that stuff, all that drama happened while we were gone.
Yeah.
You want to go through it?
I mean, it's actually kind of just like more of the same, right? So Nathaniel Shaney was found on a camera match to be playing in a pretty crazy way. He had one turn where he kind of like, he had two grandmother willows, and at the end of the turn, it all made sense, but the way he tapped was really weird. And then the next turn, he managed to squeak out a couple extra ink with his grandmother willows.
Wow.
The timing of the ink really mattered too, based on his inkable uninkable situation. He got to draw off a genie,
Mm-hmm.
which mattered a lot.
Then he got to ink or whatever. But basically what we're looking at is what appears to be a serial opportunistic cheater, right? This is a person that almost definitely got 2 top 16 playmats and tried to run away with them in the last DLC. It just, classic card game cheater, somebody that is not necessarily planning all of this, but just whenever they can get away with it, they try to get away with it.
Kevin, how do you feel about it?
I feel like we have a lot of evidence that's happened over the few tournaments, and the evidence speaks for itself at this point.
Yeah, I feel the same. I mean, the Magic ban was already a lot of evidence, but I do believe in redemption, coming to a new game, having a chance to redeem yourself. Seemed like a super nice guy when I met him at the set champs that we played right before the tournament. But
That's the thing about these people. They always seem like super nice guys because it's in their best interest.
no, of course. I mean, some of the nicest people I also have met have cheated against me in tournament, and I have caught them, and that has been it definitely messes with you because you're like, oh my god, this person's so nice. The first thing you're like, how could they, like, they don't seem capable of doing something. So that's always my first response to the whole situation. But I do think that any leniency that existed after DLC Richmond should probably be erased, and all this stuff should probably be more investigated, and there should be a decision made, because if Ravensburger or whoever's in charge of these continentals do not feel okay with this person winning, then something should be done preemptively rather than after they win the tournament.
Talk to me about. So I don't care about any of that.
Or making it to Worlds or whatever,
Because I don't go to the. If I'm just a set championship gamer, I go to a set championship. Nathaniel Shaney's there. What do you think I should do? What are my responsibilities?
I mean,
Tell a judge.
I think that most of the ways to cheat in Lorcana involve drawing cards, but there was a way that was just demonstrated on like how to save ink /ink extra cards / all these types of things. You just have to try your best to keep track of everything, understand what your deck does, so you have the capacity to keep track of someone else doing something shady. But to be honest, you just have to just play your best and just keep an eye out. And if you didn't catch anything, it's most likely that something didn't happen in that.
Asking your opponent how many cards are in their hand every turn or their ink counts and things like that can also try to keep them honest, because if you're constantly asking, they know that they can't really get away with something, because as soon as they end up with too many cards in their hand and math doesn't math, then you have a pretty good evidence.
Yep, there's a path in the games. We saw on the sort of like blog post that Quincy wrote, who played against Nathaniel Shaney, that in an effort to put up a smoke screen, Nathaniel Shaney was coughing all over Quincy. If he coughs all over, do you cough back?
You have no choice. You've been coughing for months.
I just cough because I cough.
I think I'm gonna cough if he coughs on me. I'm gonna cough on him, and we'll just keep coughing.
Yeah. One thing I want to throw out there: the first time I ever heard about Nathaniel was one of my locals that's fairly casual or decently casual. She's somewhat competitive, but not like going to DLCs and things. She ran into him round 1 at a set champ, and that was the first time meeting him. And the first thing he told her was to go easy on him because he's new, and then proceeded to stomp her with like Ruby Sapphire, like knowing everything and stuff, where it was just like clearly he was trying to get a little bit of an edge early in the game before the opponent caught on that he clearly was not new and was so.
Yeah, I'm like a mile away from being able to pull that one off. Every time I play against someone who is new, they're always like, "You've been doing this a long time, huh?" And I'm like, "Oh, what? What do you mean? Why do you think that?"
Oh, that reminds me of something that was interesting. When I got my first feature match in top 32 in Taipei, they asked me not to shuffle my cards.
In your hand?
Yeah.
No, that's just a Japan thing, I thought.
Yeah, no, I was like, so the judge was going over the rules, and I was like, and they were like, "Can you please not shuffle your cards?" And I was like, I just played in a DLC last week. I was on feature match a bunch, and they never asked me to do this. It's like, I just want consistent rule,
would be good there,
right? Like, I just want consistent rules. So the judge went back and asked them, and they were like, just like, if it gets too loud, then it'll be an issue. And I was like, I'm doing it subconsciously, and it helps me think. And changing the rules in this situation is like really tough. Another thing I was dealing with was so I was like on table 9 or something, right? And I finished my match, and I'm watching the people right next to me play.
Mm-hmm. Usually you can sit there and do that.
Exactly. So I'm sitting there at the same table, and I'm watching, and then a judge comes over and is like, "Can you please like go away?" Like, and I'm like, is there a rule change that happened that I'm not allowed to sit in the seat that I played in?
No, it's a culture change, because in America we have our rights, and if you get assigned to a table, then that's yours for an hour. You sit there, that's your right.
I heard that you weren't allowed to use non-Disney playmats like anywhere at the event, not feature match, like just in the regular. If you're matched on table 130, you can't use a non-Disney playmat.
Yeah,
a cookie run playmat.
What was it? Justice, I think.
There's probably Justice.
Yeah, Justice wanted to use a Digimon mat.
Right. Well, you can't use a Digimon.
He couldn't use a Digimon mat, but I don't use a mat at all, so I never had.
Not a problem for you. Yeah.
Never had this problem. But I just thought it was interesting. I just want like consistent rules. And so then the judge went to go like talk to the head judge or whatever, and then never came back. But then when I went over there, they were like, "Can you please like just not be?" I'm like, I'm not even the closest person to these people. There are people standing right behind them on both sides, and I totally get it can be an issue.
No, I
But
disagree.
but I
partially.
just don't understand. Like if there is tape drawn around the situation, the only people that should be contained are the people who didn't play at that table. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're talking about getting asked to move from your spot. Yeah, it can't be an issue. If you're assigned to that round for the round, you can sit there for 50 minutes if you want to. That's how this all works. When it comes to card flicking, honestly, if I'm not allowed to card flick in a card game, then I don't even want to do it. I don't want to play. They would have had to tell me that. If I flew all the way to Taipei and then they were like, you can't flick cards, I'd be like, you better refund my flight, buddy, because I'm dropping for
I came here to play Lorcana, not Scout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just felt like I was like, what are all these new rules that are being introduced like from one weekend to the next weekend?
Can't make it up. Well, they've been talking about banning that in Japan. In Japan, they did it for some Bandai games already.
Sure, if you ban it, then I will make the adjustment. But
I don't want to.
But until it's banned, I'm not gonna make the adjustment.
If you ban card flicking, then I'm gonna put my ink in front of my characters.
That's actually not allowed by the rules.
I don't care, and flick cards until
that got banned, and I was really happy about
until
that.
you arrest me,
because it's really bad for coverage. It's so like if there's a newer player trying to watch it, my God, it's what is happening.
I want to do ink in front, and I want to flick my cards.
You can't ink in front. It's against the rules. What I'm saying is, whatever it is, I think it needs to be in the rules in order to make the adjustment. But I don't think that you can go to a different region and for them to be like, yeah, we're gonna change the rules whatever we want.
Yeah, here in Taiwan, we don't do hand flicking of cards. You can't play with a cookie run play mat, and you can't sit there when you're done.
And you can't put broth in your noodles.
No broth in noodles. That's another thing. Lady, don't tell me how to eat this. I'm from America. I know how to eat.
Yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. Overall, the event was like a 10 out of 10. Organizational, all that stuff was absolutely amazing. Getting prizes, 365 players. If everybody had that experience, it would be absolutely insane because it felt like everything, you could hear everything. Everything was like in arm's reach. And there was no long lines for anything. The bathroom or the boba tea shop that was right outside the door.
I hate when I go to another country and the convention center has a restaurant that's right outside the door, and I'm like, why can't we have this in America? Why is it always like, what are our food options? And it's like, well,
I mean, it was actually better than that. We were in a mall, but it was like a mall complex.
Malls are so good for card games.
Okay, it was the best mall I think I've ever been to in my entire life because it was 4 different malls, but each mall had its own basement food court, and the basement food courts were like
so good,
super, and it had like a grocery store built into it. It was absolutely incredible.
You're gonna cry about it.
It was so good.
One of the best. You are crying right now. One of the best.
It was so
Full
good.
disclosure, you're crying. One of the best malls I've ever been to was the airport in Istanbul. Look at the mall.
Yeah, that's a good airport.
Well, it's actually a good mall because it's a mid airport because you just walk forever to get anywhere.
It's also just a great city. I mean, in terms of cost of food, you can have all the kebabs you want.
Kebab.
This man won the tournament and it was like, get me to a kebab shop right now.
Great.
Yep.
Great.
Because that was the only one. People were like talking about having Domino's and having McDonald's, and I was like, because nothing was open. First of all,
it was very late.
It was midnight.
Kebab place is always going to be open.
Yeah, kebab place was open. It was bomb.
They do. Kava right now has the lamb meatball and sweet potato bowl.
I love kava.
All right. If you made it this far in the podcast, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. There's nothing you can do that helps us out that is also free, better than liking, commenting, and subscribe. If you need a prompt on what to comment, we'll give it to you right now. Comment, Ryan, give them a prompt for the comment. What should they?
Tell us what you want us to play in the next Versus video.
Tell us what you want to play in the next Versus video. That's absolutely right. Thanks so much for listening. I've been one of your hosts. I am Mox Jeremy on Twitter at MoxJeremy. Ryan, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter as well. I'm ATL Ryan Walked.
All right. And Kevin, how can they get to know you better? They liked you on the podcast. They want to know more about you. What do they click on?
In general, I just have a Metafy at Danzor, and I have a Blue Sky, but I don't remember what it is. I'll get a link in the comments.
Ooh, I should get
added.
on Blue Sky more. I always say that. I want to be on Blue Sky. The problem, I'm stuck because of spaces. There's not like a space equivalent on any of those apps. And I have a blast in the spaces, but I hate Twitter lately.
Oh, yeah?
Anyway, Zan, Syed, they loved the podcast. Where can they see more of you?
Already here. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.